Do you like the Dreamcast? I love the Dreamcast, and that's why I'm on a mission to complete every game on the system. There are almost 300 English language releases, and I want you to join me on my adventure to completing them all. The order is chosen at random. Last episode we completed Shinseki Evangelion Taiping Ikekaku, a Japanese exclusive. Well, game number 16 is also a Japanese exclusive, Puyo Puyo N. Yes, I'm also doing games that got a full English fan translation. Now, there are 3 Puyo Puyo games on the Dreamcast, and as of now, 2 of them have English fan translations. This one and Puyo Puyo Fever, which was the last Dreamcast game published by Sega. There's also another one called Puyo Puyo Da, featuring L and a system, which I don't think has any translation team working on it at this moment, but we've got about 5 years worth of this series left, so let's see how it goes. Maybe it'll feature one day. Will my Patreon supporters be there all the way? I don't know, but I would like to thank them right now anyways. I massively appreciate your support, and if you want to join them, you can check the link below for loads of great bonus content alongside watching these videos much earlier. Check it out. You can support me, and you can support my wife who edits the audio for these videos. But today we are focusing on Puyo Puyo N. This was released on the Nintendo 64, PS1, Game Boy Color, and of course the Dreamcast. Sometimes it's known as Puyo Puyo 4 because the N is supposed to be a play on words in Japanese or something, those crazy people. It was developed by Compile and published by Sega and never released in the West. But thanks to a small team called Precise Museum, it has a fan translation. How awesome are they? So you're probably familiar with Puyo Puyo. I played a variation of it during my Kirby retrospective with Kirby's Avalanche. I like it. I find it quite difficult, but as far as competitive puzzle games go, these are generally fantastic. Plus, they often have some kind of funny story to go alongside them. There is a really nice 3-minute animated cutscene intro where we see a darkly dude opening some kind of Pandora's box, and then we see our heroine, Arl, as she gets out of bed with her friend Carbuncle, and she ends up seeing the circus, which is new in town. Then we get to a menu where there's loads of modes as per usual: single, double, endless, mission, and everybody. Mission sounds good, but actually the story mode is hiding in the single player section. There is a really nicely presented story too. We see Arl and Carbuncle arriving at the circus. There's voice acting, music, and really nice CGs. Carbuncle is invited on stage to take part in a magic trick, and he does, but he properly disappears. So while she's trying to find him, she asks a tea-obsessed skeleton for help. And boom, the first Puyo Puyo battle commences. So this is Puyo Puyo. I apologize for the painful looking gameplay. It always takes me an overly long time to get into the zone with these games. We start off with just 3 colors early on, but the gist of the gameplay is to connect 4 of the same color Puyos together, which makes them dissolve. Doing this will send garbage blocks over to your opponent, which will get in their way and hopefully do enough to send their Puyos all the way to the top until they can't add any more, and it's game over for them. Sounds simple, but it's not, because just making one group of 4 disappear, that's not going to do anything almost. So Puyo Puyo is all about combos and chain reactions, making some disappear, which causes those above to fall down and then connect with others. You're ideally looking for a 3 combo, from an amateur perspective. I'm sure some masters out there could do way better than that, but I always felt like a good boy if I got 3 or something like that. I actually lost the first time of trying, which isn't a good sign considering there are 15 levels, but my man Mr. Bonesy over here, he got a 5 combo. When you're playing, it's hard to even look at what your opponent is up to. You're so focused on your own train wreck, never mind theirs. Thankfully, no matter how many times you fail, you can keep trying again and again, which is good because I lost the second time too. It's not difficult, I'm just rubbish. It's almost painful looking back at my gameplay footage, but that's what Puyo Puyo does to you. You really need to get into the flow. It's not like riding a bike, because in your head, the bicycle is Tetris or something. But no, this is more like a penny farthing. You need to adapt and get used to it. I'm only doing 2 combos, which, just like a penny farthing, won't get you anywhere aside from the inside of an ambulance. After 30 minutes since booting up the game, I finally win the first stage. And yes, that was almost entirely down to a 3 combo, which, in my defense, is quite a lot harder with only 3 colors on the board. It's easier when there are more colors in play. But I did it. I overwhelmed the skeleton. After the skeleton, there's a mischievous little green fella, or fellette, who's been digging holes around. Nothing to do with the plot, but we're battling anyways. And right off the bat, I get a 3 combo. The brain juices are starting to flow. I'm getting into the groove, and it literally takes me 40 seconds to win. So the first match, 30 minutes. The second match, 40 seconds. I don't always get this garbage timing. Like, I did the 3 combo and they got like a little bit of garbage on them. Then I barely did anything. I got like a 1, and then it's like the apocalypse. It's as though there's a delay or something, but it's not very defined, at least that I know of. You then upset a cleaning lady, as one does in day-to-day life, so instead of a broom to the face, it's time for a Puyo battle. I'd like to take a moment to praise the presentation. It's a puzzle game, but they really tried. Loads of different backgrounds and environments. The story cutscene, while mostly brief, are entertaining. The only issue is with the music. Like, the music's really good, but it would be nice for more variety. It's like the same one over and over again. It kind of got annoying. This time, things are stepping up a little bit. We've got 4 colors in play now, which makes it more complicated and relying on more RNG to get the color you need. But now there's more options, so a bit of give and take. Again, I got a 3 chain right from the go. Sadly, there was no sign of Christ on the horizon. It didn't do too much damage. Again, a bit confusing, why? But yeah, I couldn't live up to the hype, and looking at me playing, man, I am an idiot. I lose the first round. On the second go, it looks like I'm a goner too, like I'm full to the brim, but with a totally on purpose and definitely not accidental placement or 2, I pulled it back for the win. Oh, what? Alright, so they can just delete all the crap if they feel like it. That's not fair. They get super attacks. The cleaner cleans all the garbage away in an instant, and they can use it multiple times. She then turns it around and kicks me in the balls. What's that all about? Well, I tell you, that is what the game is all about. It's about being a dick, and being a dick often. She keeps doing it, and anytime I get close to winning, she just deletes them all and essentially gives them all back to you. Like, come on. It's only until I completely overwhelm her that she can't keep using up her special move and I win. That was an ordeal. But I feel I'm getting better. It turns out that it's the ringmaster that has taken Carby, and the cleaning lady helps you use a spell to guide you to their location. Arl then annoys a little flute boy, which, you know, if you ever see a flute player, yeah, annoy them too. You've got to reference American Pie. It's the law. It makes them so angry. His super attack is just making most of his Puyos disappear, which is less worrisome, but they end up getting a 4 chain, which ends up being a death by 1,000 cuts. This is another thing I don't get about the game. Sometimes it's just an avalanche. You just get a big wall of garbage upon you. Other times, they put them out layer by layer, like snow building up, and you literally can't do anything about it because anytime you put a Puyo down, it instantly gets covered up. It's a slow death. But the second time of trying, I get a 3 chain and give him the slow death in return. He panics his super move, but it's in vain. He slowly accepts death or defeat. You then bump into Draco, I don't know, who you seem familiar with. Anyways, they spotted something suspicious, but obviously you need to fight before they can talk to you because it's a video game, of course. It's a slow burning battle. I give them a 3 combo, which does decent damage, but they've got their special move all ready to completely delete all the garbage. Yeah, it's back. And of course, it bites me in the arse. I just can't fight it. It takes so many tries, but the slow death keeps getting me. It wasn't until I got 2 3-chain combos close together that I could use up all her special attacks before they couldn't recover anymore. Now, here is a twist to the gameplay because Draco has now joined your party. Interesting. We now have a special attack, finally! We've got her special attack that destroys all the garbage, and that is a literal lifesaver. Okay, let's power through this. You fight a frog who has bugger all to do with the story aside from being there. His special move is kind of like slot machines, makes everything readjust, which can cause random combos to happen. I get him good after a couple of tries. Then there is a mermaid who's afraid that you're going to eat her because her flesh grants eternal youth or something. She's overly dramatic and has nothing to do with the story. I get her on the second round and she's called Cerily and she wants to join your party too. How about that? You can now choose to take her or Draco into the fray at start of each battle. Personally, Draco is the better choice. I'm not entirely sure what Cerily does. Then there's an angry fish dude who wants to date Cerily. I get him on the second time of asking. Stage 9 is an awful singer angel thing. I tell you, you know what? These interactions, they are really rather amusing. They got the humor spot on. Not too much to make it overbearing, but it's really charming and quirky. This lady has an unusual tactic of building towers on each side, making it look like some sort of bottle. And I've only just noticed we've gone back to 3 colors, so maybe that's a valid tactic for 3-color Puyo, who knows? But I get her on the second try too. Next up is the bluntly named witch. She should be in an Atelier game because she wants to cook Arl's friends, mermaid and a dragon, the perfect rare ingredients. Surprisingly, I get her on my first try. I'm not claiming it's down to competence because it's 90% luck with 10% getting mildly better at the game. Anyways, Witch joins your party too because 1, she knows where Kabi is, and 2, she needs some of the grime under his claws for some kind of potion. Next up, an adorable dragon. He took a few tries, but eventually we overcame him. Stage 12 against this little girl. Now this is hard, like really hard, because the garbage that falls here doesn't only take 1 combo to make go away. You need to hit them twice, meaning it's twice as much effort. You have to waste twice as many potential big combos just trying to clean up your junk. I played 25 minutes until life called me away from the game just for the moment. However, I made a catastrophic error because that little break I took wasn't me just going for a wee or going to make a sandwich. No. It was, I have way more things I should be focusing on right now. I picked up this game. I started playing this game on June the 4th, 2023. And I picked it up again October the 4th, 2023. 4 months. Do you have any idea what 4 months away does to your Puyo Puyo skills? They disappear. They go away forever. Okay, not forever, but I essentially had to relearn the game while in the final few stages of it. This took me 1 hour alone to beat her. And now she joins you because she will guide you inside some place. I know, she's called Chico. Next up is some handsome swordsman, although Arl calls him a pervert for sneaking in. I get it. He took about half an hour himself. Next up, it seems we're back at the circus. We've gone in a circle, and there's a hot babe there waiting for us. She took about 15 minutes, which really is not that bad. Maybe I was getting back into the groove. It was even more satisfying that essentially I came back from the brink of death to beat her. Inside the tent is Satan. Well, Puyo Puyo Satan. He's got a fake carbuncle and he's acting all weird like he's being controlled by somebody. But we still need to kick his ass. He's the last boss, right? The gimmick for this fight is that he disables your super attack, so you're going solo. Even though he can use his super attacks, which is totally unfair. Come on, it's Puyo Puyo. It's never been fair. But believe it or not, he only took like 10 minutes to beat. Is this getting easier? Did they accidentally reverse the difficulty on this one? Of course, he's not the final boss. He's being controlled by a mysterious entity. This jester person, who it turns out is this person, who I'm reliably told is Doppelganger Arl. I mean, she looks a bit like her, I suppose, but I was kind of confused since I wasn't 100% sure. It kind of looks like her, but not exactly, so yeah. This is the true final boss. There are 2 gimmicks in play here. Firstly, the fact that there are almost indestructible blocks at the bottom. You need to hit them multiple times before they disappear. There are big points at the bottom, which I think does help your attack power, so I tried gunning for them a lot of the time, but it seemed almost hopeless, because as soon as I got close, Dark Arl would have built up her moves, and a slow death would rain upon me. I came so close. The second gimmick is that now the edges wrap around, so now they touch each other. Why this is important, I don't know. Maybe it's to combat a pro tactic that I wouldn't even be able to comprehend using, never mind pull it off. But you know, it kind of reminds me of that episode of Stargate SG-1. Just a nerdy tangent, I don't do these often because I literally remember nothing in my life. But yeah, it reminds me of that episode of Stargate SG-1 where the Asgard come to the humans, they ask the humans for help because the Asgard are really too intelligent. They're too smart and too logical, and they have a serious problem that they can't think stupidly enough to overcome. They think humans are stupid enough to think of an illogical solution that will work. And I'm kind of like that. I'm too stupid to comprehend this tactic, so it doesn't affect me really. It would not get in the way of my illogical plans. But yeah, 1 hour. 1 hour on Dark Arl, and the game is complete. Dark Arl just kind of disappears and that's it. Kabi is back and we get some nice credits with some nice CGs. Game complete. Overall, how would I rate this game? I think as far as puzzle games go, rarely do games get as tense and chaotic as Puyo Puyo. And I think that will either be a good or bad thing for you. Not everyone wants to be sweating bullets while playing games such as these. I do think the mechanics are solid, even if the CPU is a total git, with odds heavily out of your favor. Of course, that's part of the challenge. Personally, I'd give a good solid 7 out of 10 in terms of fun. Presentation wise, I think it's great for what it is. What it sets out to do, you've got a really good looking and sounding game. I'd give the presentation an 8. And difficulty, it's quite tough. You often have to rely on luck, both luck of the draw and luck of the CPU ballsing it up themselves. You can play just as good every time, but it often depends on what you get and what your opponent does. So despite the craziness that can occur, I give it a 7 out of 10 for difficulty, because eventually they will mess up and give you an easy win from nowhere. Completion time, 6 hours. Thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through, leave me a high five emoji in the comments so I know who the legends are. But also leave me a proper comment alongside it, because, YouTube thinks, it's a spam or something. Anyway, special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you want to join them, check the links below. They get loads of sweet perks alongside getting to watch these videos earlier. In fact, they can watch the next episode right now. And it is Jeremy McGrath, Supercross 2000. You can't get more extreme than that. Go watch it over there with the links below. And a special thanks to my super producers: Alexander Cato, Brent McLean, FF14 Best RPG, Vey, Sven Nowlertz, Wixit, Josh Foote, and Dustin Martin.